completed in 1914. Believe it or not, there was still no electricity out this way. This was very, very rural. To get power here, they built that powerhouse up there, off to the left-hand side of our bow. That houses two DC generators that are hydroelectric. They run off the water current. Now, if you were to come here later, that door is wide open up there. It was earlier anyway. Alex will let you walk around in there. It's a really cool room to check out. Now, usually the next question is the concern of all that water gushing through the gates. These gates are well over 100 years old. That is an acceptable amount of water to sneak past them. Now, if it gets any worse than that, it is going to be time to replace those seals. The miter seal in the middle and the coin seal on the outside. That water is only going to help put water back into the chamber anyway, so that's why it's not a big deal. So since there's no other westbound traffic with us, Alex is going to be closing those gates. I can already hear them closing. So the question was, is how much does it cost to go through the lots? I almost forgot. It's absolutely free. It's absolutely free to go through here if you're a recreational boat. And I do believe it's the only free thing in New York State to go through a lot. So you may want to take a picture of this. This is as good as it gets.
That's funny.
So, commercial boats like this, we do pay a small fee every year. It's a little over $100. It's not very expensive at all. But all the recreational boats are completely free. If you're in a canoe, kayak, paddleboard, you can actually lock through. I have heard Lock 17 is the only lock that they won't let canoes or kayaks through that because of the elevation change there. It takes just about 40 minutes to go one direction through it. So they do want to wait for actual boats to go through that one. But just about every other lock will let anybody through. So the hours of operation, 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. They're no longer open 24 hours since it is just recreational. So that brings up the next question is, you really need to keep in mind the hours of operation, because if you miss a lock, that's it for the night. You're stuck there. So there's nothing here at Lock 18, as you can see. When we get up a little bit higher, you'll see the one barbecue and picnic table. That's it. Now, if you like peace and quiet, this might be the place for you to stay the night. It's completely free to tie up on the wall outside the lock. Usually, if you're headed westbound, you're going to want to make this lock. If you make this lock, you'll end up at the Erie or Frankfurt Marina. They're right next to each other.
You could tie up and go fishing all
They
night.
have shore power for your boat, fresh water hookups. There's a laundry room, showers, bathrooms. They got fuel dock. They got everything you would need to be comfortable, and there's a lot of things in walking distance. A lot of people bring electric bicycles down on the boats too if you get a lot further. But there's nothing here in Jacksonburg. Even if you had your bike, it would be quite the ride to get anywhere. So we get a good view right now of what's called the sill in front of us, that concrete structure under the gates. All that is the foundation for the gates. That's what the gates rest on when they're closed. Now you'll notice, it's hard to see, there's a warning in the yellow square up there. It says sill, and it's pointing down. That's so you know where the sill is, because it does protrude out a couple feet from the gate, and every lock is a little bit different. You don't want to be tied up anywhere near the sill when the water's descending, when you're headed eastbound. If the back of your boat hits that sill, you're either going to capsize or it's going to rip your outboard engines off. So you're going to have a bad day if you're close to that. So Alex is already down at the other control station. He's going to start lifting those valves up any moment now. So it's the same setup as before. I could just see the bubbles coming up now
Yep.
in front of the boat. So there's still 14 feet of water in this chamber, don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget about the chambers under us. Those are also connected to the same tunnel system, but this time the tunnel system goes to the high
Everywhere.
side past the gates. So we're essentially looking at a wall of water right now on the other side of those gates. As he opens the valves up, it's letting all that water in.
Well,
But
the
then
gates
this is
are
all
clear.
working through
You can
gravity.
see through them.
There's
The
no
fish
tunnel
looking at
water.
it.
Right.
So he's going to be letting in about 2.5 million gallons of water to fill us back up. And it takes about the same amount of time as before, about 10 minutes. Now, especially when we're going back up on a hot summer day, it gets really hot in here. People get frustrated when it's going so slow. It's more dangerous to go up because the water pressure is pushing us off the wall. And if we open the valves up too fast, we can actually rip this line, the cable that we're attached to. So Alex is doing a great job right now. He's going slow and smooth like he's supposed to.
Go Alex.
We really appreciate Alex. I always mention the one story, Labor Day. We had a substitute lock keeper here because Alex decided to take him off. And I'd imagine the machinery at every lock is a little different. And we were the first boat through that day, and the lock keeper was not familiar with the setup here. He did okay eastbound. There's not really much that can go wrong, but when we came back in, he opened the valve up too fast.
Uh-oh.
And I started putting more RPMs on the engine to stay against the wall, and nothing was working because he was opening the valve up too quick. So we ended up snapping this cable right here. And luckily there was no other traffic in here. We just gently tied it over to the other side of the wall.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty uneventful, but we appreciate Alex now, and we were grateful that there was no other boats in here.
And Alex will lower the basket down and you
That's
tip
part
them
of
on the way out.
reason I don't like coming in here when the lock chamber is full. People ask, how many boats can you fit in here? We'll put as many boats in here that will fit on a busy day. I always hesitate coming in on a busy day because I've seen a lot of bad things happening in the lock chamber. It's very rare to get a lock keeper that's not familiar with the setup like it was that day for us. But I worry about other people, other boaters. I saw one gentleman holding onto the line in front of us, and his phone was going off. He let go of the line, grabbed his phone out of his pocket, and his phone got blown off the wall. And he started doing 360s in here. So there's things like that I worry about. And if the chamber was
like it's
full,
bad
he
thing.
would have went into the boat on the other side, because they will fill up both sides
People
of the
pay
wall.
for that kind of excitement.
I still think I need my duck.
Yeah.
When we were headed eastbound, when the chamber was full,
It'd make this whole thing
there was
wild.
a couple that were on a boat. It was a pontoon-style boat, or a catamaran rather, and they were waiting for us to come in behind them. So while they were waiting, the wife tied one of those lines up to the boat, and she didn't want to hold on to it anymore, and she forgot about it. So once we were all in and they started letting the water out, she forgot one of the lines was tied up to the boat. And I noticed that their boat wasn't moving with the water level. And then all of a sudden I heard a big snap and the line went flying up and their boat went flying to the other side of the wall.
Oh, my
And
God.
again, luckily nobody was in here other than just us, but we were well away from them. Now this is called a pound lock system. They use this all throughout the barge canal, and they use it all throughout the world. It's been around since the 600s. The Chinese came up with this design. It utilizes gravity. They fill the chamber through gravity from the high side of the canal. They empty this chamber through gravity and put it downstream on the low side of the canal. some people don't understand that concept. I've had some people ask, where does the water go? They think they save it and it goes somewhere. Once the water goes down, it goes downstream all the way to the Hudson. It's gone. Right now we're bringing in water from the high side. This water at one point was probably all the way in Lake Erie and it made its way down. It just keeps moving. So we don't save the water. I know I try not to laugh with some of the questions, but I say there's no stupid questions and there isn't.
He's got a bunch of buckets. It's funny.
Right.
You never know.
The locks that we use, these are called miter locks. You might have noticed they're in the shape of a V, and they always point uphill or up towards the current. Now, if there's any carpenters here, you know what a miter cut is. It's a 45-degree angle cut in the middle.
Bubbles.
That's where the gates get all their strength from, is that 45-degree angle cut in the middle. Each gate's a little over 18 degrees. Now, they have a lot more strength opposed to if they were just straight across. So that's why they put the miter cut in it. And Leonardo da Vinci is credited with that. As we get a little bit higher up, you'll see a speed limit sign down by the gates. This section is 10 miles an hour. Now you may be wondering, we're going through the country, why is there a speed limit here? There's nothing. Well, that's because when they designed the barge canal, they didn't have modern day power boats in mind. It was all steamboats back then. They didn't go very fast. They didn't make very big wakes. These new boats that can go 30, 40, 50 miles an hour would create a huge wake on the canal and destroy the embankment, the shoreline. So they spend a lot of time and money repairing the shoreline. You'll see a lot of fresh gravel and boulders, and in some sections concrete all along the shoreline to help protect it. So if they had boats going 30, 40 miles an hour all day through it, it would be destroyed in one season. So you can see the old water line from where we began earlier. We're almost there. Now as we get closer, again, if you keep an eye on the middle of those gates, when the water pressure equalizes on both sides, they're going to open up a little bit. And that's how Alex knows it's safe to open these gates now. Very uneventful, but you'll see it in just a moment start to open up on its own. Now, if I didn't say it before, there's lights on top of these cabinets. There's 3 on top of each cabinet. Each light represents a third that valve is open. So right now I see all 3 lights lit up. The valve's open all the way. There's sensors on the rail system. It'll hit the sensor when it gets to a third. This way the lock keeper knows where the valve is.
So that's that light on the right?
Yep. There is one. I don't even know if they're lit on the left-hand side, the port side, but the ones on the right are working. So all 3 are lit right now. And if you were to come here later, those are the cabinets you'd want to go to and look down in front of them. That's where the valves are. They're on a pulley system. So as we pass those cabinets in just a moment, if you pop out of your seat just a little bit, you can see the top of the pulley system. You'll see the cable and pulleys.
Does Alex ever go fishing in this lot?
Oh, Alex, I don't know what Alex does here on his free time. I probably don't want to know. But no, I've never seen Alex fishing, actually. Usually he doesn't come out of his office until he has to. He's probably got his Netflix in there. So the water pressure just equalized right now, and now I can hear the motors engaging. Nope.
So cool.
That is so cool.
But think about it. Somebody had to be the first one to come up with this idea.
You're right.
So again, as we pass these cabinets, you can just see the top of the pulley system, and this is where you'd want to look down later if you came here. That's where the valves are. Hey, thank you very much, Alex.
Bye, Alex.
Good luck fishing.
Now, if you look off to our starboard side, just on the other side of this wall, you see some dead trees over here. This is called a spill.